Several viewer questions focused on small businesses right here in Indiana. What are your plans to help small businesses survive and succeed in this state? And what specific steps would you take to help minority-owned businesses? Mr. Braun, we're going to start with you.
So the first thing I did when I moved back to my hometown, I worked for a place for 3 years and immediately jumped into an opportunity of having your own small business. It was a scrappy navigation running a Main Street enterprise, nearly 20 years. 3 of my 4 kids now run that business that turned into a larger company over time, the American dream. I'll know what to do there because I lived it. And one thing we can do is fertilize the field of smaller businesses in this state, help them become the next regional and national business. That'll be a strong part of what I urge our economic development folks to do, is quit picking a few big companies to help them, start focusing on helping all of the little fledgling companies that many of them can turn into that company that grows jobs, brings kids back to their own counties, and a place to live. That's what I'll do.
Thank you, Mr. Braun. Mr. Hill, how would you help small and minority businesses?
The best thing that we can do for any business is to decrease our regulatory controls, allow the free market to work and do its thing. There are winners and losers, and we don't need the state of Indiana picking either. We need to make sure that we cooperate, that we provide guidance and assurance, information on how to start a business, on what resources are available. Our state has that information, and we need to make sure that we get that out to all corners and all sectors of our community. But first and foremost, we have to recognize that we are a free enterprise system, that there are winners, there are losers, and they make it on their own. We want to make sure that we give them the resources and information to make that application, but we want to make sure that they have the opportunity to succeed.
All right, thank you. Mr. Chambers?
Yeah, I started mowing lawns as a teenager with some of the folks in this room, turned that into a national real estate business over 40 years. I am a Hoosier entrepreneur. I started from zero and built a national business. It is a passion of mine to grow our entrepreneurial ecosystem. The first thing I would do on day one is put a Secretary of Entrepreneurship in place. When I became Secretary of Commerce, there was one person talking about entrepreneurship in the state. The most well-known entrepreneur in our state was 170 years ago, and his name's Eli Lilly. It's the largest pharma company in the world right now. We need to do more in Indiana. We've got talent, we've got great universities, we've got great people. We need to grow our entrepreneurial ecosystem, and I would do that as an entrepreneur governor. The other thing is big businesses that I get criticized for, bringing those in, those spurn hundreds of small and medium-sized businesses and support small and medium-sized businesses like in Kokomo and New Carlisle, all over the state. So grow the economy, and especially so through entrepreneurship.
Ms. Crouch.
I am the only candidate on the stage who has the political courage to eliminate the state income tax and axe the tax. Do you realize that today it costs $11,000 more than it did 3 years ago just to meet basic household needs? And to the average Hoosier, we can put $2,000 back into your pockets every year. That not only helps Hoosiers that are struggling today with the high cost of living, inflation, and Bidenomics, but it helps our small businesses grow and prosper. The National Federation of Independent Businesses said the best thing we can do to help small business in Indiana is eliminate the state income tax. So when we eliminate the tax, not only do we give you your money back, but we also help our small businesses grow and flourish. And then we're able to make Indiana a no income tax state, attracting people to Indiana, because today they're going to Tennessee, Texas, Florida, and South Dakota, which are no income tax states. Let's help small businesses. Let's help Hoosiers. Axe the tax.
Thank you, Ms. Crouch. Mr. Doden, what plans would you have to help small and minority businesses?
Well, this is where I get very excited, and here's the win-win. When you look at our Indiana Main Street initiative, for 50 years, we've ignored our small towns all over the state of Indiana. And we have 2.5 million people that live in them. And so here's what happens when you begin to restore communities top to bottom. It solves a housing crisis. One of the things you have to do to grow small businesses is attract and retain talent. They have to have a place to live. So it solves a housing crisis. It also increases community pride, which also increases the spirit of entrepreneurship. And then it also is a small business growth model. What we've seen as you fix and restore these buildings is people begin to come in and start small businesses. And what we know, all of us who have run businesses, and I've started businesses, we often started, at an entry-level business where we started running it, and then we continue to grow in our business over time into larger businesses. This is how we create an environment and an ecosystem where people can be successful in small businesses.